Okay, so we're going to look at example number 5 on the balancing equation sheet. We're going to take this word equation and convert each of the word chemicals, compounds, into their corresponding symbols, formulae, using valency, and then subsequently balance it if need be. So if we start from left to right, we'll start with copper oxide. That's obviously a compound, it's not an element, so it's a compound made up of copper and of oxygen. So we're going to have to use valency. Copper, we're told, has a valency of 2. We're told that there. So any number that we're told supersedes any knowledge that we already have. So we have to assume it's 2. Oxygen is in group 6, using your periodic table, which means it's 2 electrons away from having a full outer shell of 8 electrons, 2 away from group 8. So that also has a valency of 2. Simple swapping over of these numbers then leads us to Cu2O2. Now, those numbers are the same, obviously, and we know that if the numbers are the same, we can cancel those out and subsequently just get the formula of Cu1. We don't have to write the 1, and O1, again, not writing the 1. Once we know that formula, we can then just leave it alone. We don't have to touch that one again. So next one along the line is hydrogen. Hydrogen is an element. It's on the periodic table of elements. So it has a symbol of H. However, hydrogen is one of these examples whereby it exists as a diatomic gas, which means that we have to write the number 2. We just do. It exists as a diatomic gas, and in a compound, that's how it exists. It's not a singular entity. Not in the same way as copper is a singular entity. That doesn't need a 2. It's not one of the ones that does need a 2. Ones on the list being hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, as we go down group 7. So if it's not one of those, we don't need to write the number. If it is one of those, we need to write the number, hydrogen in this example being H2. Water, as we hopefully know by now, is H2O, but it is a compound between hydrogen and oxygen, so we'll just prove it. Hydrogen's in group 1, so it's got 1 outer electron. It's 1 away from getting a full shell if you were to lose it, or actually gain 1 as well, but same way, both have a valency of 1. Oxygen, like in the previous example, had a valency of 2, and it still does. So if we then subsequently swap those numbers over, the hydrogen picks up the number 2, the oxygen picks up the number 1, and we get the formula H2O. Okay, so now we've converted all those into symbols and formulae, we have to basically add the things up. So we add everything up on the left-hand side of the equation, and then we add everything up on the right-hand side of the equation and see if they add up or not. So we have 1 copper, we have 1 oxygen here, we have 2 hydrogens, because we've got the H2 molecule, we've then got 1 copper on this side, we've got 2 hydrogens from the H2 part of H2O, and obviously we've got 1 oxygen. Now you can see that in all of these examples, the oxygen is the same on both sides, the hydrogen is the same on both sides, the copper is the same on both sides, which means that this equation is already balanced. So to all intents and purposes, what we'd have is one of these reacting with one of these to make one of those and another one of water. But ultimately, we don't need to write any numbers. That equation is balanced, and we can just move on to the next example.